What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a very simple video. I'm just going to be doing a voiceover over some footage of me walking around in Central Park. It was fall. I had to get out there and get some pics before all the leaves disappeared. So very happy I got to do that. Let's go ahead and check it out. I got exactly what I was looking for in Central Park. Beautiful colors in the trees, good weather, and just really entertaining people going about their lives. Here we've got this amazing trumpet player and a singer, and they're collaborating, just kind of vibing out, putting on a nice little show for everybody that walks by. You know I had to get a bit closer and get a portrait of the trumpet player. I asked him if I could take his portrait, and he complied. It's funny, this is basically the best photo I took all day. Sometimes it happens at the very beginning, and then the rest is downhill from there. But I'm really happy I pulled up and actually got a photo of this trumpet player. It's just nice. It's got everything I was looking for. I got the colors that I wanted, and I love portraiture, and this, obviously is a portrait. I got a really good reaction from him. He's just kind of doing his thing. He's not looking directly at me. He's just kind of in his element. It just feels very natural and very candid. So I'm very happy with this image overall. I got out there a little bit too late, so the light was fading real fast. This bright sun that you see here didn't really last. So I got out there and just kind of walked around, and whatever was interesting, I decided to jump in and take a photo. It's worth mentioning that I shot all of these images with my Mamiya C330. I really love this camera for walking around the streets, and it just does exactly what I want. We'll talk about this a bit more in a second. There's a lot of places you can go in Central Park, but since I didn't have that much time and the light was fading real fast as you see there, I decided to kind of go to Bethesda Fountain, which is basically the most obvious place you can go in the entire park because so many people congregate there and hang out. And as I got closer, I noticed a lot of people sitting on the edge of the fountain pool there. And that's pretty cool. You see the reflection there, and then of course you see the trees up there with some of the light hitting them. I decided this could be a focal point for an image, so I set up my camera and I went ahead and took a shot. It's a shame I got here so late because it was a very nice day and there's so many people out there doing all kinds of different things. I did a couple more laps and there was a couple interesting things that I saw, so I got a couple extra pics. Don't forget, we got a Black Friday sale going on right now on newclassicfilm.com. Long story short, we have film on sale for $5 a roll, depending on whether you buy a 3-pack or a 5-pack. Link down below. I only shot one roll of 120 film given the fact that the light was fading. I figured it wasn't really worth it. But I did have a couple shots left in my 35mm camera, and I had some Cinestill 400D in there that I've been testing for a little while. Here's a couple of the shots. As the light was fading, the party was just getting started in Central Park. You got a house DJ, a bunch of people from all walks of life, and just a bunch of vibes, people dancing and having a good time. This is New York City right here. This is the camera that I use for all of these images, the Mamiya C330. As you see, it's a TLR. You got the two lenses right here. This is the blue dot lens, which is what people say is better, very sought after. And this lens opens up all the way to 2.8. So you get an amazing, beautiful looking kind of classic 6x6 look, especially when you shoot wide open. This has this viewfinder up here, which of course lets you see whatever's on the other side. And yeah, it operates just like any other TLR. This camera is just very big. That's kind of the key thing about this compared to other TLRs. It's much bigger than the rest. So if you get one of these, definitely understand that it's going to be heavier than, let's say, like a Rolleiflex or even a Yashica Matte. So just keep that in mind. But incredible camera, really well built for the studio. And I think most importantly is this right here. You have bellows. So these bellows, when you open them like that, allows you to get even closer of a focusing distance, changing it from the typical like almost 3 feet on most TLRs to as close as I would say under a foot, depending on how much you open. Of course, when you open the bellows, you get a bit of the parallax that you need to correct for. So basically, the closer you get to something, the bigger the difference is between this lens and that one, and therefore you have to compensate in terms of moving the camera up and down in order to get the framing that you want. But that's about it. And of course, when you get really close to someone, the focusing gets a bit more difficult, because then you have to really be careful with your critical focus. But overall, really love this camera. I use it all the time. And I did buy another TLR to kind of replace this one, but not really replace. It's more of a more travel-friendly camera. That's the Yashica Matte 124G, because that one is much lighter, a little bit smaller, so it's easier to travel with. But if I'm in New York City or if I'm going to the studio and I want to use a TLR, this is the camera. So this is the stash where I keep all of my big prints right here. Giant portfolio. We got 2 prints from the ones that I showed you from the darkroom. So let's pull these out. All right, so we have 2 here, and these are very similar, but there's a key difference between the 2. The print on the left has a bit more of a green cast, just a tint, and then this one has a little bit less of that green. I much prefer the one with the less of the green because it achieves 2 things. One, it just kind of removes this overall green cast that I thought was apparent on this print here on the left. But then the other thing it does is, because I took some of the green away, that accentuates the magenta a bit. So you get a bit more colors popping out, especially up here where there's some of that orange stuff. And then in the background here as well. And then in the concrete down here, it looks better, or whatever this is, asphalt, I'm not sure. But that looks much better with a little bit of that green removed. So overall, this is definitely my favorite of the 2. And I just absolutely love printing these 2. These 2 images are, I mean, they're the same exact image, but this is from that 6x6 negative, and there's so much detail. You could go massive with this. 6x6 is just such an amazing format, and the bokeh you get from the lenses when you're shooting wide open on a 6x6 negative, it's just amazing. You can see here the separation between our subject and then the background. It's that classic 6x6 look. And yeah, it's just amazing. If you have a 6x6 camera, use it more, go out there, take portraits, shoot wide open. It's just an amazing look. And if you've never color printed in the darkroom, you should definitely give it a shot. It's not as hard as it sounds, and especially if you go to a darkroom, they will help you figure out the colors for this. And they have machine processors which make things so much easier. If you've seen my old videos, I used to do this by hand with a tank, you know, rotating like this. Totally doable at home, but less consistent results and just a bit more hassle. With this, using the machines in the darkroom, 0 hassle. So highly recommend that you get very consistent results, and they're very repeatable over and over again. So give that a shot. But yeah, I'm very happy with these 2 prints, and I'm hoping to frame these at some point, or at least frame this one, the one that I like the most. It's just a beautiful image, and I'm very happy with it. I hope you enjoyed that. It's a very simple format for a video, but I think it's a good one. Probably gonna do a few more of these as well as I walk around New York City, just taking photos of people and stuff like that. All right, y'all, to the next video. I'm out.